One thing I do want to say before starting this video out, to any new budding pen tester, please do not get discouraged by one machine failing. The dancing machine isn't the end of the world, okay? You'll be fine. I've noticed that most of the guides of Hack the Box are very, I guess, not noob friendly at all. So I'm gonna give a more simpler guide for any new pen tester that wants to use Hack the Box to get better at pen test. The Meow machine separates the $20 Roblox hacker cheat user versus people who actually want to learn how to pen test. The Meow machine is one of the very first beginner boxes created in Hack the Box, and it was designed specifically to introduce you on how the hacking lab works. It's intentionally simple and teaches the absolute basics. It's not quite the bread and butter, but it's what you should expect when using Hack the Box. The ever so infamous Meow machine. So first you want to connect to your machine. You can either, this is going to be a starting point machine, so you want to use the starting point tab, and you can use the OpenVPN unless you know what you're doing. I don't recommend doing this. I've used OpenVPN before with a fucking Raspberry Pi 5. Don't recommend it for newcomers. Use Pwnbox. Yeah, you want to start the Pwnbox. Pwnbox is basically a browser-based version of Parrot OS. Parrot OS has a shit ton of hacking tools that you're going to use to pen test. So after that, you want to open up your desktop. Don't worry about this for now, but just open up your desktop for now, and open up a new tab, and boom, this is your Parrot OS. It's a browser-based Linux distribution, has a multitude of hacking tools, as you can see. We'll get to this here in a bit. Task 1, what does the acronym VM stand for? So an example of a VM is literally what we're using right now, Pwnbox. We are actually in an isolated area away from our main OS, which is Windows. As you can see, I'm using Windows. And whatever I do here in Pwnbox will not affect my main computer because it's isolated. I can test out malware, I can test out hacks, explode my machine, doesn't matter. It's a virtual machine. What tool do we use to interact with the operating system in order to issue commands via the command line? It's also known as the console or a shell. So when it comes to pen testing or using Kali or Parrot or Pwnbox, get used to the terminal. This is going to be everything. Know how to navigate it, know how to move in it, how to use commands, and understand what you're typing and how to type things. It varies, okay? Task 3. What service do we use to form our VPN connection into the Hack the Box labs? Now, we don't use the original way to access your attacking machine and Hack the Box was through OpenVPN. We're not using OpenVPN because that's if you don't know how to use it, don't do it. But this is technically the correct answer. This is just the OG way of doing it. Okay, task 4. What tool do we use to test our connection to the target with an ICMP echo request? Now, this may seem like a word salad, but what this basically means is how do we test our connection from our computer to the machine? And in order to actually test a connection, you have to ping it. So let's ping the Meow machine. So let's go back to the Pwnbox, and on the terminal, type in ping and the IP of your machine, which should be up here. Paste that, or type it, doesn't matter. And we have a connection. If it has these numbers over here, this basically means that we have a connection, and these are the basically how long it takes to ping, basically. It's in milliseconds too. So once you're done with that, press Ctrl-Z to stop it, and boom, all good to go. Task 5. What is the name of the most common tool for finding open ports on a target? Now, you want to get used to the terminal, okay? But you really want to get used to a reconnaissance tool named Nmap. What Nmap basically does, it just scans your target to find any kind of open ports, any ports it uses, just to get more information about it. It's a reconnaissance tool, so let's look for Nmap in the Pwnbox. Okay, we don't need this anymore, so you just close it out. You want to go here to your applications. And since we're pen testing, we're not gaming, we're pen testing, go to pen testing. And we want to find information gathering because Nmap is a reconnaissance tool, and would you look at that? Nmap. So open up Nmap, and there you go. And wait a minute. This looks like the terminal. Get used to the terminal. Task 6. What service do we identify on port 23 during a TCP scan? So we're gonna actually use Nmap to find protocol 23, port 23, I'm sorry. So to use it, you want to type in Nmap and type in the target's IP address. Okay. And okay, we do see that port 23 is using telnet. Okay, so telnet is going to be the answer for port 23. We basically found a open port that we can use. But what even is telnet? And what even are ports? So ports, basically every computer has ports. I think we have over 65,000 ports on a computer. Basically the ports allow the computer to actually do computing. It allows you to send email, receive email, log into the computer remotely, hint hint, open a secure terminal, just overall just tasks. But some of these ports are very old and very, very vulnerable to hack. But what basically Telnet is, port 23 Telnet was used way back in the 70s to log into any computer remotely. See, back in the day, computers were only owned by schools, millionaires, just very trusted sources, and everybody trusted each other. And Telnet was a protocol used back in the day to just remotely sign into your computer to any computer. This is very dangerous and very vulnerable, so let's exploit it. Task 7. What username is able to log into the target over Telnet with a blank password? The answer for Task 7 is going to be root. Root is basically the default admin on any kind of Linux system. And since Meow is supposed to represent a very vulnerable machine, let's just assume we don't need a password to enter in. You'd be surprised by how many people don't change the default password. Trust me, I worked at an office. People do not care. So to actually get a connection and attempt to log in to our machine, we have to type in telnet, the IP of our machine that we want to attack, meow, and enter. And let's hope we get a connection. Let's see. Cool. So now we are basically at a login page, and now we want to sign in. And boom, check it out. We are now logged in as the root user inside of the Meow machine. So we're actually inside of the mainframe. Okay, but how do we actually find the flag now? That's the last step of this machine, is finding the flag. So now we want to get used to how the terminal works. So now you want to get used to commands inside of Linux. I'm gonna put a list of commands on the screen right now, and by any chance you see any kind of command that can allow us to see what's on the computer, something that could like list files or find something, any kind of command that could assist with finding files on our computer to get the flag. There is. So let's type in ls. What this command does is basically just lists folders. So let's see. And we found a flag text inside of this computer. Okay, so now we want to actually open the flag text. Something tells me our flag is going to be inside the flag text file, but I don't know though. We got to open it first. Any other command here that shows how to open a file or a text file? Anything here? Then would you know? There it is. So let's open up the flag text. Keep in mind, you always have to put your commands first before any kind of a file or text file. So let's open it. And oh, I think that's going to be our flag. Yep, that's a flag. This is what typically if I was gonna like 32 character long flag. So cool. Let's copy that and submit our flag. That's not loud at all.